So I have here a very simple Node.js project. It just contains one index file and a tsconfig. Going to the tsconfig file, it's very minimalistic. I'm just including all files within the source directory. I can make sure that the index file is included in the Typescript compilation context by running dsc showconfig. It will print the current Typescript configuration, but also all files that match the provided glob pattern here. Looking at the index file, it's also very minimalistic. I have a function getStage which just returns an environment variable called stage. And the typing of that variable is correct, but usually you would have your environment variable strongly typed. In our case, maybe something like production or development will do. You can strongly type any kind of environment variable by leveraging something that is called module augmentation, or in our case, declaration merging. This is a process where I'm going to redeclare a namespace under which the process lives, and also change the declaration of the environment property here and type the stage variable there. So declare namespace Node.js. And I know that the env is described by the interface called process.env. And all I have to do now is to strongly type the stage variable. So stage has values of production or development. These are so-called string literals. Looking at the type of a stage now, it is strongly typed. We can move this declaration to a special file called a declaration file. This file should contain all your declarations within a Typescript project. So let's create a file called global.d.ts and paste our declaration here. Going back to our index, the stage variable is still correctly typed, and if you look which files are included in the Typescript compilation context, we'll see that the declaration file is included within the files block. Now, what I want to show you is what will happen if I rename this declaration file to an index declaration file. So, changing from global to index. Looking at our stage variable now, well, it seems like we broke the types. And looking at which files are included in the Typescript compilation context, well, the declaration file is no longer here, right? We previously had the global here, and it's no longer listed under files. And this is a very unfortunate property of Typescript compiler, where any kind of declaration file that is named the same as any kind of Typescript file under the same directory will be ignored. You can manually force Typescript to include this declaration file by specifying a files property. This is where you list files one by one, since you cannot use glob expressions. So in our case, source index.declaration file. Going back to the index file, the stage is again correctly typed, and if we check which files are included in the Typescript compilation context, the declaration file is there. So in this case, you have two options. You either have to make sure that you don't have any kind of declaration files that are named the same as Typescript files under the same directory, or you specify them on the files block in the Typescript config.